Welcome back. Today's video is going to be an installation guide of the Scala Rider Freecom 4 on the Shoei RF SR. All right, so let's get into it. Let's actually start with the Bluetooth unit itself. Comes in this really fancy box. Hopefully you can see it all right against the black table. You've got all kinds of accessories here. You've got accessories for mounting, little boom mic action, and your two Bluetooth communicator parts come in here. This one goes on the Shoei Quest helmet that I have, but it's fairly thin in profile. The buttons, I will say the buttons are a little bit more difficult to activate if you've got gloves on versus a click wheel. So keep that in mind. If you ride in a lot of winter months and your gloves are really thick, this may not be the right Bluetooth communicator for you, just because a little bit more difficult to operate when you've got gloves on. They did not put a user manual in here. You do have to go online to get that, but they do provide you with a lot of stuff. Microphone, foam options, depending on what kind of helmet you have. There is some sticky options if you wanted to mount it directly to your helmet, as opposed to using the horseshoe clip that goes on the inside and outside. It does come with a charging option for a wall charger and USB ports or cords for charging. These pads are little spacers for the speakers inside the helmet, and then you've got a bunch of sticky felt pads along with boom mics again. So that's the box. We'll put it back in here, and then we'll show you the helmet and a little bit how I mounted it, and some tips and suggestions when you go to mount your Scala Rider Freecom 4. So we'll start with the unit here. This clip is not the most structurally sound clip. Full disclosure, I did break this the very first day that I rode with the Bluetooth communicator after I installed it. It's not real easy to get on and off. In my opinion, it's not very user-friendly, and I'm not super confident in it. Now, Scala Rider, I contacted them, called them on the phone. They sent one out almost same day. They replaced it, no questions asked. Super great customer service, so if you're concerned at all about customer service, or if that's of importance to you, no problems there so far. You can see that I chose to do the horseshoe mount between the helmet padding and the exterior, so it just slides right up. It's fairly straightforward. I will take this cheek pad most of the way off here so you can see what the inside is going to look like when you're done. All right, so I've got the cheek pad off here. You can see the speaker itself just sits right in this little cavity. The Shoei RF SR helmet is really nice in that it has a specific Bluetooth comms speaker cavity. They do come with a little foam pad that goes in there if you choose not to install one of these units or a unit similar to these. The wiring system is pretty easy to route in the RFSR. A little more difficult on my Shoei Quest, which I'll explain in another video. The horseshoe clip just clips right on. The wires, I just pushed the wire with a plastic spudger tool. I just took the spudger tool and poked the wires down in there so that I don't get any pinched wires. The back here, there's obviously two speakers, one right, one left, and the one furthest away is the one that you're gonna want the longest wire running to, because the shortest wire is on the side with the mount. You can see here, I actually tucked the connection port for the speakers and the wiring harness just behind the back of the head pad, which I don't feel it at all in my head. It sits below, far enough below the crown of my head where I don't feel it. The speaker system on the other side is relatively simple. Same concept, it just sits in the cavity. It's really nice. I will say that the hardest part of this was the microphone placement and microphone wire routing. The wire for the microphone is fairly long, so I did have to, again, take a plastic spudger tool and kind of poke it down in there so that the wire is not hanging all over the place. I initially had this microphone right here placed a little bit further down, and when I put on my helmet, I realized that that is not going to work out very well for two reasons. Number one, it was not even close to where my mouth was at, and number two, there's a lot of airflow that comes through here if you don't have the chin skirt here. So when you're going to mount your microphone, what I'd recommend is first, before you do anything, is put your helmet on and figure out where your microphone is going to be at in relationship to your mouth. The center of the microphone is probably an inch below the visor line there. So something to keep in mind. So we'll go ahead and put this back on, and then I'll come back. So that's the Shoei RF SR with the Scala Rider Freecom 4 mount. If you have any questions at all, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer as many questions as I possibly can. Hopefully we've got a lot of them down there. Like, comment, subscribe. Would love your feedback on the video. Thank you for watching. Appreciate the support.